Oh, wow, that was quick today. Hello. So we have Amet here joining us today. Me and Ken are here as always. And today we're going to be talking about things on the phone. And so there's lots of different ways in which we can talk on the phone. So what I've tried to do is kind of make it so it's kind of for everything, kind of like a lot of different topics. If you need to call someone, or if someone else is calling you, if you need to leave a message, different phrases. So basically, lots of vocabulary today.
Yes.
As you can tell, I'm still not perfect. My throat hurts a lot. So we can have both. We have two readers today, which is fantastic. So I'm just going to get the document ready here. Let me screen share and English on the phone. Perfect.
Oh, English on the phone. Yes.
Yep. So that's today's topic. So, I mean, talking on the phone is one of the most difficult things to do, I think, in a foreign language. What do you two think? Amet, do you want to start? What's
Yes.
your opinion?
We have English on the phone. Hello, firstly, and who is it? Or maybe.
You're asking who you're talking to, yeah.
Yes, yes, exactly. And then we need to get the topic. What's your purpose? Column, and then is the speak is going on. So, and it is so. As
Mm-hmm.
much as I say, and English on the phone actually is the basic, but we are trying. We are. I'm. I am trying to speaking fluently English on the phone, but it is not so easy because
Right.
actually my natural language native language is different consequently, and it is so. And then what I say, it is
Well,
good.
and it makes sense. I mean, it's something that's very difficult.
Yes,
It's first of all, speaking another language is difficult by
yes,
itself if you're not, raised speaking two or three different languages. And so that's the most challenging part. It's also challenging because you can't see the person, you can't read their lips,
yes,
you can't see the gestures that they make with their hands. And so there's a lot of subtopics. This world of body language isn't um you don't see it when you're on the phone. So, Amet, do you have experience speaking in English on the phone?
yes. Once,
How
and
was it?
and I bought a book from the United States, and I'm living at Turkey, and this corporation's name is the Aswir, and I have sent an email to this corporation, and they sent back to me immediately, and then they call. I see they are trying to call me, and I open it up to phone, and then they say we how we can help you, and I am rush on the phone, and then it is so.
All right, well, good. So, were you nervous speaking on the phone?
Yes, yes,
Of course, yeah. I remember one time I had an interview, and it was something to do with Spanish as well. This was years ago. And I remember they started speaking Spanish, and I started speaking Spanish too, but I realized that I should have practiced a bit more before that. So good. Well, Ken, what about you? I mean, you lived in the United States for a little while, but did you speak on the phone very often? Do you speak on the phone now in English?
Yeah, on the phone, yes, I bought a prepaid cellular phone
Okay.
because in America, both caller and receiver pay the cost. for the call. So my Japanese not smartphone at that time, cell phone at that time cost a lot if I call to American people, even though I'm in America, but maybe the kind of I called via Japan to America. So
Okay.
my mentor advised me to buy the prepaid phone. And then I tried to start up the phone, but I couldn't understand the suggestion of the computer talking. So I asked, I think, my friend to open the not the account. How can I say about smartphone? Not smartphone, cell phone, to open the account or something to start up the phone.
To open the phone?
Yeah, because after you made a contract of the phone, you need to something about to start up the line at the beginning.
Good question. Lots of good vocabulary that I've forgotten. I know it's you mean, well, to start your contract, maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know exactly. It looks like Amet actually left too, which is okay. Well, yeah. And so how did you feel when you had to speak on the phone?
Actually, it's difficult because sound quality is worse than this kind of Hangout or Skype. So I prefer talking on Skype or Hangout more because sound quality is almost like FM radio. But talking about the phone, sound quality is worse. So sometimes I couldn't catch what they are talking.
They're saying.
Especially the talker was a computer, so I cannot ask the question to that robot. So it was difficult.
No, it always is. And like you said, the sound quality, that's something that I didn't even mention, is that depends too. If there's, first of all, service, if you have service where you are, if it's breaking in and out, if it's that static noise, there's a lot of different things that can affect the phone call, not just the language. And so, I hated speaking on the phone in Spanish for probably the first 3 years I lived here. Now I don't really mind. But it's still not, my favorite. Like I don't know. I suppose nowadays I don't really care because I've been here for almost 6.5 years. But the first 3 years were like, no, thank you. Don't want to speak on the phone. So... Well, okay. Well, let's take a look here. There's lots of phrases to get through today. So, first of all, I just want to look at different ways on how to answer. So, Ken, we'll go back and forth reading, just because Amet has seemed to disappear. So, again, as Amet actually said, hello is just a very simple, normal way. I don't think I would use hi or hey in this part, just because you don't really know who is answering. There's a joke in English where people will answer the phone and they'll say yellow, like the color yellow. It's just pronouncing the word differently. And so, things like that you don't want to do in this situation. So I'd say a normal hello. Obviously, you can say good morning, good afternoon, or evening, depending on the time of day. If you are expecting kind of an important phone call, you could also say, hi, this is, and your name. How may I help you? This sounds more like you're working for a company, but it's still kind of okay to answer your phone. Again, if you know you're waiting for an important phone call. Or you can just answer the phone and say, hello, your name, speaking. This is one of those sentences that we just say, oh, hi, hello, Becky speaking. We don't say anything else, so... Let's see, is that it for here? I think it is. Yep. Okay, good. So any questions here? These are just the basic things. You can obviously add and eliminate things. So, any questions?
No.
Okay, so pretty simple here so far. So for answering the phone, pretty good. The next part is this about asking for information. And so here I have modal verbs because that's kind of what we're using in this. And I think this goes down a little bit. Yeah, so lots to read here. So just read one by one, okay?
Okay, could you please tell me? Could you? Go
Yeah,
ahead.
let's read all of them and then I suppose we can talk about them, okay?
Could you please inform me about? Could you clarify? Should I do a follow-up call next week? Should I check in with you on Monday? Would you like me to?
Good, and I think that's it. So, asking for information, could you please tell me the directions to get to the office? Could you please inform me about the topics we are going to discuss? And so these are just good kind of introductions in which you can end either way. I mean, you can finish these sentences in multiple different ways. So they're kind of just good kind of set up questions, Do you have any questions about these?
The last ones. Should I check in with you on Monday? Which means I call that person on Monday.
Sure. I mean, it could be a phone call or it could be an email, for example.
Okay.
Check-in is just kind of, see how things are going, see if there's any new information, that kind of thing. It's nothing super formal. Should I do a follow-up call next week? Is more of you are pursuing, for example, some companies like when you apply and then maybe if it's a formal business, like a week later you call and say, hi, I'm just calling to follow up about my resume or my CV and see, what you're thinking about the job, things like that. So you can do that. Some companies don't. I remember when I worked at a restaurant, people would call and do that because it's kind of like the thing to do. However, at such an informal place at the restaurant that it was not the place to do it. So it was like, yeah, we're still looking, we haven't decided, blah, blah, blah. And so that wasn't really the place to do it. But as far as formal businesses, yeah, definitely. That's something that you might want to do. And like I said, the check-in is just kind of, it could be an email, it could be another phone call. You will speak to that person, but for not very long. It's just a, hey, anything going on? Okay, no, great. All right, well, I'll call next week then. Something like that. Okay.
So,
yeah.
Or sounds like business call or follow up after the interview.
Sure, yeah, it could be after the interview as well. It could be maybe you're already working at a business and you're calling a client to see how they like the products. So, I mean, it can be used in different situations as well, definitely. The same with the check-in question as well. Oh, yeah, should I check in with you on Monday and see how everything's going, see how you're liking the service, the product? So, and would you like me to? This is just a nice way of saying, do you want me to do something? So again, your language, we're not saying you want to call me next week. That sounds very informal. Let's not say that. So, would you like me to call next week? Oh, yeah, that'd be great. Perfect. So that kind of stuff. Okay. I think moving on here, it's my turn to read, I suppose. So how to ask the speaker to repeat politely. In these kind of situations, you don't just want to say, I don't understand. What did you say? That sounds very, not very nice. And so what we're going to do is focus on like more formal language. So you can say, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. Could you repeat the last sentence? That way, there's communication going on here, but you're kind of like, oh, maybe something happened, or maybe the phone stopped working for a second. So there could be multiple reasons why you didn't understand. And so this way, oh, I'm sorry, excuse me, I didn't hear that. Another way could be, and then say their name. And this part is their name. I couldn't catch the last part. Do you mind repeating it? Or I didn't catch the last part, we could say as well. Oops, don't isn't a word, didn't it? Okay. And then here, could you please clarify the last sentence? I didn't hear what you said. So there's that, and yeah, that's it. So this, and again, there are other ways that you can say this, but these are just some ideas. So do you have any questions about these?
No, thank you.
All right, perfect. So now it's going to be your turn. We're going to be making a call to someone specific. So maybe you're calling about your resume or CV that you want to ask how it's, how the process is going, or maybe you have to call a certain person for customer service. So yeah, why don't you go ahead and read these for us, okay?
Okay. Hi, this is name. Looking for name. Good morning. Good evening. Good afternoon. My name is name. I'm looking for name. Hello, I'm interested in speaking with name. Is name available? May I speak with to name? I'd like to speak to talk with name, please.
Good, and I think that's it. Yep. So perfect. So all of these names, so this is obviously you would say your name and then the person's name that you're looking for. And then, again, the same thing here. We're saying my name is, I'm looking for the other person I'm interested in speaking with, or if they're available, maybe they're in the office, but they're not available. They might be in a meeting, on a different phone call. So it's always nice to say, oh, are they available to speak at the moment? So it's a different way of asking if you can speak with them. And then I'd like to speak to or talk with. Do you think there's any difference between these two, speak to or talk with?
Speak to talk with. Speak to is more somewhat one way. Talk,
okay.
Because of with sounds like more interaction.
I think you're absolutely right. Speak to is more of a monologue. Just kind of, I have some information for you. The other person's going to listen, that kind of thing. To talk with, maybe you have to discuss a contract or discuss the specific points of something, maybe your contract or something with the business, your resume, your benefits for the company. Again, it depends on the situation. So you definitely want to say the correct thing. What I'd like to speak to is kind of formal too, so it's okay if you would say that. So very good. Any other questions?
No.
Okay, pop quiz for you today. What is this? Apostrophe D. What does it represent?
I would.
I would like, yes. Perfect. So moving down, for given reasons for the phone call. So of course, when you call, you're going to want to let them know why you're calling. Okay, so you can say, I'm interested in more information about. Could you inform me of? I just wanted to ask about probably. Would you mind telling me about? Looks like that's it for that. So very simple phrases, but different. So we've interested in, inform, wanted to ask, mind telling me. So again, just different ways and how to say the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty simple, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on to leaving a message. Okay. So this could happen when maybe you call after hours and the office isn't open at the moment, or maybe it's during the busy time of the day and you're put on hold, or maybe you have to leave a message. So good. So Ken, why don't you go ahead and read these for us? Okay.
Okay. Could you please take a message? I'd like to leave him her a message. Could you tell him her to call phone me when they have a chance? Would you be able to take a message for me?
Good. So this is when you have to ask the person to take a message. Now, during the message, what are things that you want to have in the message? Ken, any idea?
For example, maybe the next meeting date or something.
Yeah, well, the first thing you're going to want to say is your name. That's the most important thing.
Okay.
To say, hi, my name is this, I'm calling about this, or I'm interested in this. So it's the phrases that we've already seen today. I'd like some more information. And then you leave your phone number. I would say your phone number is the best because sometimes people might leave their email address because it's easier for them. However, if they don't understand the email address, it's a little bit not great because they might not have the correct email address, that you might not ever get that email, and then nothing will be solved. And so it's going to be a complication in communication between the person you're calling and yourself. So I would say have them call your phone number. And what you should do is leave that number twice. You should say it 2 times. So you can say, oh, the number is blah, 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 blah. And again, the phone number is blah, 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 blah. Just so, maybe they accidentally delete the message or something like that. At least you said it twice. So hopefully they got the number down. Then at the very end of the message, what you should do is repeat your name again. So, and this could be because maybe you said it very quickly at the beginning. Again, the message might be deleted or something like that. And so just to kind of make it known, make it really, really clear who you are and what you want, basically, and how to contact you. So, have you ever had to leave a message in English?
I think so, yes.
Is it any different than a phone call?
I forgot actually, but my phone, I recorded this message. Please leave your message. Kind of thing on my phone.
And how is that?
I asked my friend how can I say that, and he said, I forgot the phrase. Hello, I cannot get the call right now. Please leave your message.
Yeah. Well, there's actually a couple different ways. I mean, that's one is, hi, it's Ken. I'm not able to take the phone call at the moment. Please leave your name and number. Please leave a message after the beep.
Yeah, after the beep.
Some people will say that the beep is that noise that you hear at the end. So a lot of different ways that you can say that, but yeah, definitely. This is Ken. Can't get to the phone right now. Please leave a message, and I'll call you back when I can.
Right.
So yeah, lots of different ways. I don't even think my mobile phone has a voicemail set up on it. No one leaves messages nowadays anyway, and I barely know how to actually listen to my voicemails. No, I do know how, but I just don't. If someone leaves me a missed call, if someone called me and I know it's important, I'll call them back before listening to the message. So I'm a little bit, I don't like voicemails. It takes too much time. Just call the person back. So good. Well, moving on here. Asking when someone will be available. So maybe you call and says, hey, is this person available? Can I talk to this person? And they say no. And you're like, huh, okay. So now we need to figure out how we can ask that. So Ken, I'm actually going to have you read these. All right. It's just these 3, okay?
Okay. Could you tell me when a good time to call is? What time would be the best to call? Should I call later today or tomorrow? Which would be best?
Good. And which would be best is just kind of a saying that we have. What would be the best time is the kind of complete way of the superlative in this case. But the same thing here. What time would be best to call? We take out the because we really don't need it. And then could you tell me, asking like, I want to call back again and really talk to this person. So when are they available? So good. Don't think there's any questions or anything too difficult here. So now we're going to look at ways on how people ask the other person to clarify information. So, again, just to be sure, because you want to make sure that you have the correct information, because if you don't, that could lead to some complicated situations in the future or some misunderstandings, and we don't want that. So it's always good to double check, especially on the phone, especially when it's not your native language. So Ken, again, I'm going to have you read these, okay?
Could you please spell that? Is it possible to repeat the name number, please? How do you spell the name, please? Good.
So this first and third questions are obviously very similar with the spelling. Could you please spell that? How do you spell the name? What's the difference actually between these two? Could you please spell that? Or how do you spell the name, please?
Could you please spell that?
See if there. Now you can see both.
I think second one is more not so direct.
Not so direct, like how?
Because it's not order, it's question. The first case is polite order.
Sure. Okay. Well, the first one is, could you please spell it, asking them to spell it for the first time. Then the second one is it possible to repeat the name or number? So they've already said it and you're asking if they can repeat it just to make sure that you have it correct. And the third one is, how do you spell? Is you're literally asking, you're looking at the letters of the name more carefully, because maybe it's not a very common name, and so you want to make sure it's spelled correctly. Okay. So I think if there's a difference, the first and the third questions are very, very similar, obviously, the letters. Could you please spell that? I'm just trying to think. There's a little difference in connotation and in feeling here, and I'm just trying to figure out how to exactly portray that. I don't know. I think just the first one is, asking them if they are able to do that, if they could spell it for you. And then the other one's like, please help me. How do you spell this? So, okay. Well, good. Moving on. Okay. Again, making sure you have the right information. So not only repeating things, but if you, have the right information. So I'm going to have you read these again, and I'm just going to look here. Oh, this is supposed to be in blue. Wait a second. Here we go. I don't know if it's that blue, but it's close. Okay, sorry. Yep, so why don't you go ahead and read these for us.
Making sure you have the right information. So the phone number is, repeat what you wrote. You said the name was correct. Let me see if I got that right, you said.
Exactly. And so you're, again, repeating exactly what you think you heard. If that's correct or not should be corrected or should be known in this time of the phone call. Do you have any other ways that you can think of how you would, ask about having the correct information?
Yeah, maybe double check is important on phone call. Yeah, like number, dial. Yeah. So I'm always doing that.
In Japanese too, right?
Yeah, in Japanese, usually, yes.
Well, and that's the thing is that, again, maybe it's not just the language barrier, the language difference, but it's also the connection or, what's going on around you, background noise.
Right.
Maybe you've blanked out for a second because you were thinking about something else. You saw some food and you're like, oh, hungry. Oh, yeah. Hello? Yeah. So, so different ways to do this. And now we're just going to take a look at how to end the phone call. So let's see. Okay. Well, why don't you go ahead and read these for us?
Well, thank you for your time. Have a nice day. Thanks for the information. Goodbye. Thank you for helping me. It is appreciated.
Good. And actually, here I have goodbye. Just because I had bye at the beginning, thanks for the information. Bye is fine, but it sounds a little bit more informal. So I've added the good in goodbye here, just because I think it sounds a little bit nicer, a little bit more formal. Of course, you can always say, thanks for the information, have a great day, or it was nice talking to you, and then goodbye. So we have the same thing kind of written a little differently. So this is thank you for your time. We have thank you plus for. And then here I have thanks for the information. Now, of course, thank you is a little bit more formal, but honestly, when speaking on the phone, I don't think either. Probably thank you is more appropriate in this case if it's your first phone call with them. But at the end of the day, if you say thanks, or you can say thanks again for the information, have a good day, all right, bye. Something like that, okay? And then again, thank you for helping me. So here, if we want to look at the grammar, in the first two sentences, we have thank you for, and then we have a noun, your time, or the information. Now, in the last sentence, we have thank you for plus a verb. Thank you for helping me. Why is the verb in the ing form?
Because of for. After the for, it should be a noun, so gerund, helping.
Well, yeah, it has to be. It can be a verb. Well, it can be a noun here in the first two sentences, or a verb. This is a verb in this case.
For verb?
Yeah, helping is a verb in this case.
Well, help, but I think it's gerund.
Yeah, but do you know why?
Because in such ways, a verb can be noun.
Okay, and I thought that might be what you're talking about. Well, in this case, it's a verb. It's in the ing form because of for, because for is a preposition. When we have a verb after a preposition, it has to be in the ing or gerund form.
Right.
So that's what we're talking about here. And thank you for the information. This isn't anything. It's just a noun with an article, and so that way we're just writing it normal. You can't use a noun, information, for example, with an ing form. So good. Perfect. Let's see here. And general tips when speaking on the phone. So speak clearly, obviously. You need to enunciate more than normal. What is enunciate? It's not a very common word.
Maybe like announcement, like clear pronunciation or something.
Well, yeah, and that's basically what it is that it's, you speaking clearly. And so, for example, when I speak in my teacher mode voice, I'm enunciating more than normal. And that's when I said the word enunciating, that T, normally I'd say enunciate. I wouldn't even pronounce the T. So you're speaking correctly, maybe. It's different than pronunciation. Enunciate is, very carefully saying all the words correctly. The pronunciation is saying enunciate or enunciate. That's the pronunciation difference.
Mhm.
So it's, again, speaking clearly.
Mhm.
Always say please and thank you. We're big with that in English. We always say please and thank you. Lots of different ways. Of course, you don't want to overdo it and say, please, can I have this, please? Can I talk to this person, please? Please, can I do this? Please, please, please. So you do want to be careful, but at the same time, you do want to sound appreciative. And so you should be saying please and thank you a lot.
Mhm.
Does it happen in Japan too?
Yeah, we say excuse me a lot. Or Japanese excuse me, including thank you. So interchangeable.
Really?
Yes, we say the word. Yeah. We say the word thank you, and also the word meaning excuse me covers sometimes thank you a lot in a lot of different meaning. Yeah.
Interesting. Do you have an example?
For example, I say suimasen is the word for that. Original meaning of suimasen is excuse me.
Okay.
But another context which means I'm sorry.
Oh.
Yeah. And so yeah, the one word covers two meaning.
Interesting. Well, good. I mean, I suppose when I say, I appreciate the information, I appreciate you helping me, it's very similar to thank you, but thank you is quite specific. So interesting. Well, a little bit of Japanese culture today, so good. And so sounds like we have time to do a role play. All right. So person A is going to be looking for information about a job position. And person B is going to be a secretary at that same company. So the secretary should know the information. All right. So we're going to be doing this, obviously, as Matt left, unfortunately. But yeah, we're going to be doing this. So do you have a preference on who you'd rather be?
No, I don't have any preference.
Oh, darn. I was actually going to have you choose one and then give you the opposite.
Okay.
So which one do you think is more challenging? I think I know which one you're going to be, but
Secretary is challenging. I don't know.
Sorry, which one, A or B?
B.
Okay, really? I thought that was... Actually, I think I'm going to be person B because I can come up with the information hopefully pretty clearly, pretty easily. But I'd like you to ask questions. I'd like you to focus on asking questions. So I think that's going to be the best one. Okay. You'll be person A. You're going to be looking for information about a job position. So you have to think about some questions. Okay. So do you want a minute to think about some or?
No. Yeah.
All right, maybe just a couple minutes. You can think about that. Maybe, we can think of the job. Let me go to this. Maybe the job position says, looking for a responsible person to work mornings at what kind of a company? At office, please call to set up an interview, something like that. And of course, this isn't correct because this is what people would normally probably put in the newspaper. So, of course, it's not. It's shorter than normal. The company would normally say, we are looking for a responsible person to work mornings at our office, for example. But here, if it's, like I said, in a pretend newspaper, then we'll just shorten it. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Any questions?
To work mornings at the office, so this job is available only in the mornings.
Well, you don't know.
Okay.
Just in the morning. So, do you have some questions ready for me?
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, then if you want to call me, you can go ahead and call me.
Okay. Ding 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 ding.
Oh, hello, Brown office. How may I help you?
Hello. This is okay. Can I saw the newspaper ad about the position of your company?
Okay, great. Would you like to make an appointment for an interview?
Before that, I'd like to know something about this job.
Sure. What would you like to know?
Yes, in the advert, it said to work mornings at office. What exactly is the working hour from the
Okay.
morning?
Well, the working hours are from 8 o'clock to 12 o'clock.
So 12 hours in a day.
No, from 8 o'clock in the morning to 12 o'clock. So 4 hours.
Sorry. Okay, the morning job. Oh, yeah, that's yeah. And also, is it a part-time position?
Yes, yes. You will only be working those 4 hours per day, but 6 days a week, Monday to Saturday.
Okay, and I didn't know the what kind of work do I have I can work for that position. So could you clarify a little bit more?
Sure. The job position, like I said, is from 8 to 12 in the morning. You will be calling our customers that have tried our products. It's called a follow-up call, and you're just asking how the product is working, if they would choose to change anything, if we can improve the product. And that's basically it. Just calling finding the correct person to talk to and finding out some more information about the product.
Oh, sounds nice. And so, can I may I may I book the interview?
Oh, sure. So, yes, this week we have, let's see, today is Monday, so we have tomorrow and Wednesday open for interviews. Is there any specific time of day which works best for you?
I think in the morning. Any day is good, but in the morning would be fine to me. How about that?
Well, our first interview, we have a couple tomorrow morning. Let's say about 10:30. Is that okay?
Sounds fine.
Okay, great. So do you have any other questions about the interview?
Do I have to bring my resume for that?
Yeah, that would be good. You can bring your resume, and we can talk about previous work that you've had, anything related or not. Yeah, sure, that would be great if you could have that available with you.
Okay, and yeah, I bring it. That in the interview to the interview.
Great. Yeah, that would be perfect. Also, if you have any references, 2 to 3 references that are not family members.
I will.
Great. Okay. Well, the interview is at our office. Do you know where our office is located?
I think location is the downtown and of the yeah. I think I saw the address in the advert, but could you not clear sorry, could you repeat that just in case?
Sure, yeah, the address is 214 First Street. That is downtown, but you will have to come in the back entrance. So you can park in the front if you want, but you will have to go around to the back of the building to get to the office. Once you come in, there's, you should see me when you first walk in. Just come in and I'll show you where to have a seat to wait for the interview. If you want, it would be great if you could be here 15 minutes before, just to make sure that we stay on track and stay on time.
Oh, yeah, that's nice. So, yeah, thank you for telling me about that.
Oh, not a problem. Wonderful. Well, do you have any other questions about the job or the interview? Anything else?
No, not now. Thank you very much.
Okay, perfect. Well, very good. Well, thank you, AKA Ken. It was nice talking to you, and I look forward to talking to you and seeing you tomorrow.
Yes, see you tomorrow. Have a nice day.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Goodbye.
Good. You did great, Ken.
Oh, thank you. But I don't know some phrase, to the
Yeah,
company.
I know. So we joined, someone joined here. Con, you joined, and I didn't see you until now because we were doing our little role play. So welcome. But Kenya, overall, you did great with the questions and everything. And, like I said, I wanted to be the secretary because I feel that it's kind of easier for me because I lived in that situation. So not that I was a secretary, but, I had to ask questions and things like that. So good. Hopefully your interview goes well. Good. Yeah. Hope you get the job. And actually, it's kind of good that, during this process, you wouldn't ask how much the job pays. This is one of those questions that you ask in the actual interview at the very end if they don't mention it during the interview.
Right. Yes.
So, you don't want to be too rude and say, oh, yeah, how much does it pay per hour? No. You wait for that information.
Money is always a sensitive issue, so yes.
Yeah, it is. Plus, there's other benefits too, and so you really have to be prepared for this interview. So when now maybe what you should do is, after this kind of phone call, you would look up the address. You would maybe look it up. You could even go there, and see the surrounding area.
Yes.
And just double check and make sure everything's working for tomorrow morning. You can get those questions ready, talk about how much benefits, vacation, if you get vacation, a day's off, if there's holidays, things like that.
Nice.
So very good. Well, our friend Con, do you want to say hello? Do you want to talk? No? Okay. Well, I'm going to stop screen sharing for a second here and say goodbye because we are about finished for today. And I need something warm for my throat, not cold water. So on Wednesday, I've actually been working on this and was working on the class before today's class. We are going to be looking at what to wear for an interview. So now you have your interview and you have to figure out what to wear for it. So we'll be looking at that. We'll be focusing on colors, what different colors mean, and then also for men and women, what you should wear, what you shouldn't wear, things like that. I don't know if we'll finish all of it. It's kind of a lot of information, and I just don't want the class to be read. I want to discuss some things too. So we'll see. So That's kind of what the idea is for Wednesday. And then next week, Monday, I think we're doing reflexive verbs, which would be fantastic. And then next week, Wednesday, I think is Pi Day. Do you know anything about Pi Day, Ken?
No. What is this? Pi Day? P-I.
It's that number in math where it's 3.14, etc. And so on March 14th, we celebrate Pi Day.
Ah, got it. I see. I've never heard of that. Yeah, but interesting, yes.
Well, it's something we celebrate in the United States. And of course, there's this play on words of pie. And so people bring in pies like apple pies and pecan pies and things like that. So we'll talk about kind of like what it is, maybe why, or I don't know. And we'll just kind of talk about some of the interesting facts about it. So a little bit of culture, not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday on the 14th, like I said.
Okay.
Okay. Wonderful. Well, thank you for joining Con as well. Ken, have a great day, and Con as well. And hopefully the sun stays shining for a couple more hours today. So everyone enjoy your day, and hopefully we'll see you on Wednesday.
Okay, have a nice day.
All right, thanks. Bye.